going to ask you a
All right.
question.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious. So in the last 8 to 10 years of my business, I have been focusing a lot on helping companies scale, mostly with paid advertising. And there is this constant dilemma when sales teams don't normally communicate a lot to us, and then they come and say, the leads are not good enough, the deals are too small, give us better, give us more. Have you encountered this?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. And this is the marketing dilemma. When sales are going well, sales takes all the credit, and when it's going poorly, they blame marketing, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah. So, one way to help this, it's there, it's a really hard problem, but one way to help this is recognize that if you're measuring the performance of marketing by the quantity of deals that get created, you'll have huge variance in what happens because you'll have a trade show and you have a huge spike. All right. Okay. So, things look great, but then they're not the same quality. Everybody's badge gets scanned at the trade show, and that just because they were having a conversation doesn't mean they were genuinely interested. And I had this just last quarter at a customer that they attended inbound in the HubSpot conference, and they had a huge spike in the number of deals in 3 days. And if you were looking at their business from that just the deal generation rate, you'd see this huge spike. You say, great, we're going to have this massive influx of new revenue in 60 days when all those deals mature. Well, those deals don't all mature. That's the problem. They're different than the others. And so one way to address this is to pick a qualified stage, a more substantively qualified stage that's later down, typically the next stage after, marketing qualified, and you call it sales qualified, whatever. But essentially ignore all the deal creation for that and only look at the opportunities that get to the qualified gate. And that's a way of perhaps getting better alignment between sales and marketing as well. Focus on not just the number of deals created that I passed to you, but the number of deals created that, sales can turn into a qualified lead.
Fantastic. So this is actually one of the things we always prioritize for qualification. Do you have like your own take on what qualified deal is or what qualified lead is? Because there's also like a huge variety of ways to look at it. Like, is it qualified when the like the intention has been set, the initial conversation happened, or when the decision maker has sufficient budget to proceed? Like, what is it, a qualified
Yeah.
deal?
So I have my opinion about this. This is
Yes.
we typically rely on our customers to set
Yeah.
those quality gates. It's not our job, but I having seen this happen a number of times, I would say keep budget out of that because nobody knows who has budget, until in fact, in many cases, particularly if you have big deals, nobody has budget really until the end, right? No, the budget gets
Yeah.
created around the justification. You'd have a very qualified pipeline if you had that in there. But companies typically know what a qualified opportunity is, and my advice on that is um, you have sales stages, you have a sales process. You need to establish really well-defined gates to exit or enter into the next stage in your process. And that will kind of tell the sales team and the marketing team what has to happen, what they have to do in order to get to the next stage. And they should be things that are objectively measurable. Do we have, more than three people involved in the discussion, for example, or is it just, single-threaded conversation? These are, and sometimes people will have gates that are, you got, a smorgasbord of things and you need, 10 things. You don't need 10 of them. You need, seven of them in order to pass to the next gate. But, anything that's really important in your sales process should be well defined and, customers know what they are. I rely on them to help me help them figure it out. But once they figured that out, we can show them, how to model the business accordingly.
Super. So qualification it is.
Qualification it is, yeah. Up to the customer to define it. I will have opinions if people ask me. I mean, we have,
Sure.
one of the It's not just, listen, I mean, your question is a great question, but it's not just about marketing to sales. It's about every stage in the sales process,
Yes.
right? And so I said, you need well-defined criteria or gates to go from one stage to the next. I mean, for example, I see very ill-defined names of stage, qualified, proof of concept. That's actually, if you're in a proof of concept, because you have, the customers installed or you're using your application. If you're a SaaS company, you'll know that there are some of them are well-defined. The best stage that I saw was one of my customers had a stage called dual executive confirmation. I love that. My business and partner and I, we call it the double dog dare. I double dog dare you. It's not just one, but we got two of them.
Yes.
Two of them have said, "Yeah, we're going to do this." Yeah,
Check the boxes.
yeah. So put the double dog dare in your sales process. That's typically a later stage.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Very nice impact. Hopefully, this is gonna help reduce the dilemma between sales and marketing and move the deals forward.
It will define the process and start using it rigorously to make sure you're adhering to it.